Well, welcome to the GN Sports Complex, and here in Delhi as we start off this last Section A match. Australia against Malaysia. Little breeze here today. It's very pleasant, I have to say. One of the better days we've had. It's only 33 degrees and a humidity of 38%. Wind speed from the northwest, that has an effect at 5.5 meters per second. So a little bit breezy, a little bit gusty, but not too bad, I have to say. Temperature's a little bit less than normal. We've got a lovely blue sky. Good game today, Australia against Malaysia. A crucial game in terms of this particular section. Leif Selby now in a very good position, second in the league table with 10 points. And he's up against Malaysia today, a very good player. Safwan Saeed played all around the world for Malaysia. He's just 2 points behind the Australian, so he'll be chasing him. And he can leapfrog him if he wins 2-0 into one of the semi-final places. Alan Thornhill from England. This is his third Commonwealth Games, having been at Manchester and Melbourne. Alan's a very experienced marker. So, there we can see the lovely kites just flying around the place. They've been visitors every single day, the black kites. Looking for a little bit of afternoon tea, if they can get it, in the shape of the odd locust or two. And we have plenty here, I can well assure you. You may be hearing some music in the background. It's not easy to keep it out of your head, I have to say, because it's directly behind me that is coming through on this particular rink. Some other matches still being played off. They're trying to finish off the whole program today before we get to the final stages. The Malaysian team. Looking cool underneath the stand. That's one side of the covered over stand. I'm on the other side in the commentary position, under the shade. Bowls all laid out. Players just waiting for the horn. Perfect timing. Just waiting for the horn to go. We have three hours in this match. We'll not need 3 hours, I can tell you. For a singles game, probably an hour and a half. But sit back and enjoy it. Well, if you're just joining us for this last section game in the men's singles, it's Australia against Malaysia. Safwan Saeed for Malaysia against Leif Selby of Australia. Now, he's very, very well situated at the moment. Leif Selby, he's in second place. He's 2 points in front of his opposition, but he cannot afford to lose 2-0. Leif Selby started off his campaign rather poorly when he lost to Northern Ireland in a convincing win by Gary Kelly, who now tops this particular section, and he's clear going into the last match. So anyone back in the UK who's listening in, know that Gary Kelly is already through. Paul Foster, well, he's sitting on 10 points and he's playing his last game at the moment, or will be shortly, against Samoa. Leif Selby has not been convincing in every single match, I can assure you. We've commentated on him a couple of times, and he's lost the plot a few times, but managed to come back well, and he looks a better player now than what he was a few days ago. We know him as an extremely good player. You do not represent Australia unless you are top-notch. Good ball. Just dropping through. Malaysia really are so good. Although an indifferent campaign by this man at the moment. Leif Selby going up to have a little look at this as he's completed the end, just to confirm that it's 1 to blue. No effect on things, just trying to push it through on the inside. He's slowly arriving after his ball to make sure that it's definitely one shot. So Malaysia off to a gentle start, 1 shot. Section A has been very hotly contested. Automatic semi-final place already decided, as I've said, but it's the other 2 sectional places that are really up for grabs, and you've got 4 players in the running for that. Leif Selby, Paul Foster, Bobby Donnelly of South Africa, and Ryan Bester of Canada. Well, it really would take something very strange to happen for Ryan Bester to actually qualify at this stage. The JN Stadium. It just overlooks us at the Bowls complex. Steady, 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 and that's loose at this. Even on the second end, that's loose. They've had their practice ends. He should know not to go through there. And that forehand, I think personally the backhand's a bit of a better hand, to be more consistent. This needs to be good. Oh dear, oh dear. Helicopter stuff. Well, this really is a loose end. The wind has died, so there's no issue with regards to the ball's being picked up by a gust. Needs to hurry with this. Looks short to me. That's a soft end. That's a really soft end. Two shots indicated by on Thornhill that it's 2 to Australia. I'm not going to get too much easier shots than that at this level. If you're picking up some noise in the tannoy beside us, it's the Delhi police just trying to control the crowds coming in and out of the main stadium. We just sadly have to live with it. It's a very important job. But I have to say it's completed with a certain amount of gusto, at least twice a day. Very straight where that ball was running. Both these players using very narrow bias balls. It surprises me a little bit considering the conditions we're playing in. These greens are heavy, they're a little bit tricky. Certainly suit, I would say, the northern hemisphere a bit better. South Africa as well, simply because of the greens in South Africa. Not the geographic position, but other factors have helped South Africa, and that is the weather. They're very used to warm conditions. Ball just dropping in behind. It's a better end for the Malaysian, but it looks in the backhand just a drop in on it. This looks like he's pushing through a bit. I just wonder if there's a little bit of inconsistency coming into this particular rink, in fact in many rinks, simply because it's been played on a lot more. These greens are well played in now, but prior to this they had very, very little play before the Commonwealth Games teams started to arrive. You can see the runs and the balls, and you can see the lights and dark parts of it as well, apart from the shadows. And I just wonder, just underneath this surface there is another sort of layer. I just wonder how much that has started to compress and go into the runs. There's been matches where we've been expecting high quality stuff, but hasn't materialized. Others have been absolutely exceptional. Needs to stop with this one. Needs to stop. Oh, just on it and no more. It's going to be close. So, 1 to Malaysia. They level up the scores. Just about held on. That ball took 2 shots off. When you get a loose end, it's not too bad just to lose a single. Not a major problem. But at this stage of the competition, the last match of the round-robin games, and bearing in mind you have 9 matches to play in, you're well played in at this stage in terms of knowing the pace of the greens. And although you're varied around the 4 greens quite a lot, I think Selby's been on this at least twice, as has this man. Because I know I've covered him a couple of times in terms of commentary. There's the game's mascot, just coming in to say hello. Left it a bit late, I have to say. Only one more day to go in the bowls, but he's very welcome. I'll tell you what, he must be feeling the heat inside that outfit. That's not bad. I'd be quite happy with that. Anything just in front of the jack is always useful. Oh, and that's his why. He's Selby going for the jack. Got it. Now, where's it going? Straight back into the ditch. His own ball came off one of his back ones, which means it may not be that close. But the jack is in the ditch. In fact, the ball that he played has gone off the confines of the rink. And that's the marker for the jack. So, looks like about 5 or 6 meters to get the shot. That won't be the issue. Easy enough for Saeed. Safran Saeed to draw the shot. He's Selby just dropping inside it. Looks good. Needs to stop though. Very much needs to stop. That's a bad miss. With that much room, that is a bad miss. He's moved off the rink to the side, keeping absolutely still, as he should do. No problem with that, and that's great. No worries. Just in case anybody thought that he wasn't going out of the way. And that's why it was a bad miss, because anything within 6 meters was going to gain a double. So, 2 to Malaysia, who doubled their score. Good drive, lots of power, lots of accuracy. Bingo, all the way through. He came off one of his own back balls. Here we go. It's a bit loose. You definitely see the wear on the green. That's interesting. Australian prepared to play the backhand inside the blue ball. Believe me, that blue ball is nearly 2 meters short, by the looks of it, from where my position. You would never even dream of playing inside that. Well, he looks about a foot away from the centre line, but straight line balls, you can do it. He was probably playing outside it, to be truthful, but ends up not a bad one. This is the better way to play it on the forehand, but only if you're reaching. Well, at the moment it's a pretty hard work out there. Saffron just running through the head with that ball. It's another loose end. When you get players of this sort of quality and the bowling is not the best, it's usually a sign that the conditions are quite difficult. Oh, good grief. Well, believe me, he's a much better player than that. There's something wrong out there. The rink obviously is starting to have runs in it and a variety of problems. And the same for the Malaysian. Well, that's helicopter stuff. But I do believe that the rink is the problem rather than the players. One out, two out, and a measure for the third. Well, we favour the Malaysian bowl as he whizzes the box measure along. Little chocks to make sure the balls don't fall. Not always easy for us to get the perfect situation over the top of the head, but it looked to be in by some margin. In fact, I think Alan Thorne was saying you really wanted that measured, guys. Okay, move on quickly. Two it is. Well, that keeps it all very friendly, doesn't it? 4-all. And we've played 5 ends of the 9-end set. 2 9-end sets, of course, with a 3-end tie break. All singles today. Everything tidied up last night regarding the pairs. Oh, that kicked out a wee shade. Looking across at some of the other rinks, most of them seem to be suffering from a bit of wear just from the mat positions. Watch this ball coming down. There it is, just there. Kicked out for about a metre. Worked in his favour as it turned out, and sometimes it does. Actually put him onto a better line than what his ball was originally on. But it can happen. It's one of those things when you're putting down artificial surfaces that the intensity of the play for the last 9-10 days, and then 2 or 3 days before that as well, whenever they're playing all their practice matches, and these greens really have got a hammering over the last 2 weeks. So of course, being artificial, absolutely no need to have any maintenance on them at this stage. The type of material they are, they might need to do some work afterwards because they'll start loosening up a little bit. Of course, you've got people walking up and down and teams leaping and jumping around and everything else. They're still pretty good in comparison to some of the grass ones. Look at this. Oh, just under. And they've had to suffer all of the problems with regards to the medal ceremonies which are held in this particular one. Now, underneath. Don't really understand what he was aiming for there, except just to take one ball out. Line 2 seconds, but there's a shed load of room. Well, he's normally very good at running balls, but I'm afraid he's been suffering over the last few matches. Very unusual for the Malaysians to win 4 matches and lose 4 matches. That's most unusual for him anyway. He's a better player than that normally. In particular, when we look at who he's lost to. Now, this should be a given. But of course, the way these two players are playing at the moment, it's not. Oh dear. Getting down to the business end of the set, and that's a bad miss. But it's 1-2 Australia. So 3 ends to go in this first set. Can't exactly call it a classic, but at the same time, I have a lot of sympathy for the guys that are playing at the moment in this rink. It's definitely not easy. We're saying about the games that Malaysia have lost. They've lost to Samoa and India, and generally speaking, those would be 2 matches that they would have in their back pockets fairly easily. Certainly losing to Scotland and Northern Ireland wouldn't be as big a surprise. Now he's Sylvie, he's also lost to Samoa. And to Scotland and to Northern Ireland. So there you go, Samoa back in 9th position in the league. The only 2 games that Samoa have won are against these 2 players. It's a strange old game sometimes. Lee Selby is very much against playing the forehand and making it hard for himself by playing the backhand. Oh, touching the jack. It's a long way away though. That's a good ball. Don't see why he's too concerned about that forehand. Played that within a couple of feet. Well, this one's going away early. Bit of a struggle, but I'm not sure if it's just there or not. Confirmation from Alan Thornhill that it's 1-2 Malaysia. Selby once again going for pace. That was a long way away. Oh, watch the ball. Exactly. They should be caught, the balls that are coming back up again. And not like Alan Thornhill, he's normally right on top of those sort of things, but it was only 1 to Malaysia. He knew that. There you go. Here the ball goes, bounces off the back, comes back up again. Oh. Safwan Saeed was on top of the situation. So, 1 shot to Malaysia. 5-all, 2 ends to go. Well, guys, this is the big end. Oh, first ball. Oh, I've seen him do this before, and personally I don't think he's playing well enough to be able to waste one. But however, there you go. It's not that close. It's a lovely shoulder to rest off. If you draw up that ball, tap off the corner of it, in behind the jack, it's going to be almost impossible to beat. I'm a little surprised if he goes again, but he should be drawing. It's usually an indication of the lack of confidence that a player has whenever he drives with the first ball. No confidence in his drawing. I suppose if you drop that short with 2 against, it's 2.5 meters short. I've been pretty easy on these guys simply because I think the rink's not playing well, but being 2.5 meters short with 2 against you, having driven with the first ball, that's pretty atrocious actually. This is better. It's a lot better. That's good stuff. Well, Safan Saeed needs to get in with this one. He certainly looks better. Looks much better, but it's going to have to hurry. Here it comes. There you go. Why didn't you play out with your first one? Perfect ball. Well, he just watches this one come in very slowly, I have to say, to drift in with a straight line ball. So Leif Selby looking to try and ease the ball off the head or turn the jack. If he gets to the jack clean, he could make 4. This is the perfect time to play really good stuff. Well, that touch is very good. Could have made at least 2, maybe 3 out of it. Just a quarter jack. Alan Thornhill indicating that it's 3 to red. 3 shots would nearly be enough to get Leif Selby over the line. Oh dear. Dear, oh dear. That was a bad effort. Wrong side of the mat. Playing through it on the forehand like that, you need to be on the perfect line. The Australian will wait for the Malaysian to come down to confirm things. Certainly looks like 3 from our overhead camera. Two out. Wow, goodness me, I think he's going to give 4. Alan Thornhill had indicated 3. Oh, it's 4. Wow, that's interesting, because Alan Thornhill, believe me, has got a very, very good eye. If he thought that was 3 shots, I almost guarantee it was 3. But it's up to the Malaysian to confirm how many shots he thinks the opposition has, and he's given him 4. Well, that really should make sure of the Australians' way into the last 3 now. Bobby Donnelly can also get in there, but it's too late now for the Malaysian. As soon as he lost the set, the best he can now do is 10 points with 10.5 sets. And that's exactly where we are at the moment. As Leif Selby has got 10 points and now has 11.5 sets, and that means that the Malaysians' campaign is effectively over. Well, he's got a chance on his own ball with this, which would be good. Yep. Well, it's all mixed up now. There's absolutely no chance with the short ball, so the Malaysian could do much about it. He's just rolling them up. It's not going to make any difference. Three-phase scoring here. Points, sets differential, and shots differential. Well, I have to say, Lee Selby has turned it on the last couple of ends as he drops another one in, very much on the tight line. It looked under. I think he thought it was under and has dropped in for another shot. It's still important to keep going because on the playoffs, everyone's in the mix on the second and third place. There you go. Where do you see this ball now? Looks like it's going inside to tap the ball. Gets a straightener and wiggles in. Another 3 shots though. There's the kick. And the Australian finishes off the set 12 shots to 5, courtesy of a 4 and a 3 in the last 2 ends. Very classic style of the Malaysians, the way they play the game. This is good. And that's more like it. Let's have a nice, good, tight set, guys, with some good bowling. An overhead shot to see the reaction from the players. Well, Lee Selby should be happy with that. That's a useful ball. Oh, that one's pulled across. Don't really understand in some ways why they're playing the forehand all the time, because it's a difficult hand just to get a line on at certain distances. Now they've managed it twice, but they've been struggling after that. You can see the wear just in front of the jack, those 2 or 3 meters where it looks a little bit barer. Malaysia support a little bit on the quiet side at the moment, understandably. Their singles player struggling just a shade. Now he needs a jack, and there it is to his back ball. That's a good ball, good positive ball. Needs a lot more of those. That's more like it. Good pace. If you got the ball out clean, it was worth a double. By moving the jack, you might be sitting a treble. And it's been indicated to us as 2 and a measure. So the Aussie going for the pace shot. Looks under, doesn't want his own ball. Well, there you go. That shows just a lack of confidence at the moment. Didn't want to play the draw on the backhand to try and change things. Wasn't even prepared to arrive with just a little bit of weight. one out. Oh, put a measure on it. Come on, guys. Well, looks good for 3. 3 confirmed. He was right. Didn't need to measure. Well, the marker's just walking up the rink already. Oh, as we see that ball just missing the edge. Well, he thinks it got a kick on the way out. Maybe that's true. These are the sort of conditions that the UK players play in a lot, though. This is why I did think that this was going to suit a lot of the Northern Hemisphere players, simply because the green's a bit heavy. And also, not only is it a bit heavy, but also it's quite tricky. And because it's a little bit tricky, a lot of our guys will be used to that in the Northern Hemisphere. A lot of noise around us at the moment. If you can hear things, the media, of course, are beside us. Indian radio, and we also have Indian national TV, and our friend on the PA system who's looking after the crowds coming in and out of the main stadium. Well, 2 good balls there. Option for the little punch shot with the next ball. So the Aussie needs to get one in. Oh, that's all right. That's better, actually. That's a lot better than the way it was before. That's more like it. Greenmaster heavyweight, no wonder they're straight. Greenmaster Premier. Very narrow bowl. For these sort of surfaces, I'm a little bit surprised, because generally speaking, it's a slightly swingier bowl that have been more successful. Got a text from Kelvin Kirkhout, the Commonwealth Games gold medal winner from Australia, from Melbourne, saying Leif Selby, hope he's got big feet because he's going to have to fill big boots. And he's doing well here, to be truthful. He started off the campaign in a pretty poor way, but he's picked it up in the area. Oh, 1 ball gone, and it's his closest one. This could be very costly. Wanted to really take away the front 3 balls to give him some sort of a chance with the next one, but hasn't left anything. That's the difficulty he's in. A little touch in the ball here from Leif will bring the jack out into the open, but it's worth it. So he could be line 4 shots if he gets this. Well, he's playing the forehand, trying to draw another shot and get cover at the same time. He's not bad. Now that's the hand he stayed away from. I don't know, it looks pretty good to me. So forget about the shot, just try and draw a second. Not even close. More and more of that after a running ball. The Malaysian, and that's not good. That really isn't good. Shouldn't be that far away. So two to Australia, just 1 behind after 2 ends. Beautiful day. We're just coming to a close now as we approach 4:45. The shadows are just changing slightly. from the sun to the floodlights, which will be coming on very, very soon. We might just get this game out of the way before the floodlights come on. It's a beautiful day to play bowls, I have to say. Virtually no wind, 34 degrees, quite low humidity. Breeze is just really dulled down. So you can't ask for much better than to play bowls in these conditions. Our little flying friends seem to have eased off a little bit as well for the time being. Oh, he is having an absolute nightmare. Well, if Leif Selby can just get 2 or 3 ends put together, he'll cruise into the playoffs. That'll be for tomorrow. Oh, a little push. This is all a struggle, isn't it? Missed the line. The weight was good that time. Well, they're all very far away. It's hard to tell even whose line shot, but Alan Thornhill's in having a look. There we go, just dropping through. Any connection on a bowler jack would have been good. Alan Thornhill thinks it's 1 to blue with a measure for the second. Yep, he's changed onto the outside edge of the mat. Now that should help the ball get back a little bit. Needs to push out a bit wider though. You can't go narrow if you're on the outside of the mat. Well, I tell you what, he's pushed that ball through a gap and it's probably the shot. He wasn't playing that, not by a long way. It was a lucky result, but yes it is. It's one. Fortunate result from a rather indifferent bowl. Well, he sort of flicked his hand across there, you know, pulling across, but if you're on the outside of the mat and you played a tight line, you know, if you're going to go on the outside of the mat, you have to give it extra grass just to let it come back. So maybe he just wasn't expecting that sort of a pull with the straight bowls, which is always possible. That's better. Better stuff, much better stuff. Singles is all about those first couple of balls. Really put the pressure on the opposition. you start dominating that battle of the first two balls, the chances are you're going to win the match, especially on a tricky rink. Well, once again, slightly under. Straight line balls, you're always searching for that straighter line, but you can actually see the mark on the green as that ball went across. It sort of left a trail behind it. There you go. Well, beautiful sunshine still here as we're playing off the singles games. The expectation is that most of these singles games will be probably completed by 5:30. That's a good ball. Doesn't matter if it's a shot or not, that's a very good ball. So 5:30, 5:45. They might well have timed the floodlights not to come on until 6 o'clock. If that's the case, we're okay for a while. That's good. Oh, well played. Where have these guys been for the last set? Lovely stuff. Oh, that's exactly the way singles play should be played. You know, good close balls. Well, we're okay yet for a while. The sun is just making its way down, but it does go down pretty quickly, so I certainly wouldn't like to be still playing close to 6 o'clock. This is close. Bang. Got the jack, got the balls. Even more importantly, he got the two balls off the green. And the jack in the ditch, he might have made 2 or 3 shots out of this. Just look at this going through. 2 balls went out. The jack came all the way back in the centre. Good ball, good drive. Excellent result. Yep, he's made 3, 2 down to 3 up. That's more like it. Good stuff when you're playing balls like that. Let's see if we can get off to a good start. Dropping a little bit short. Selby himself knows he only has to put 2 or 3 really good ends together to make this very difficult. Safran Saeed to do anything about it. He wants to win the match and win it as comfortably as possible, because it's all about trying to get your confidence up. Oh dear. That's very difficult to explain, to be truthful with you, even at a long jack length. He's probably lined 2 or 3 shots. Yeah, 3 it is. And I just wonder, will the Australian drive at these? I know he shouldn't, he should just draw. They're a long way away from the jack. Just needs one good bowl. Looks like he's better with this one. Connection on his own will do. Oh dear. Well, connection on his own and tapped on the other, but to be truthful, that slowed down very, very quickly. Really did. Well, this is a narrow line. This is a dangerous line. Very dangerous. It's time to pray that he's not up, I can tell you. Oh dear. Why was he playing the forehand? The backhand had his own balls coming into the head and he plays the forehand. Tactically, this is an absolute disaster. Now, all the blue balls are in the backhand. He's lined 3 shots, played on the backhand. No problems, no issues. Plays the forehand, taps the Australian ball over and probably takes 2 or 3 off. Struggling to understand. It's an absolute tactical train wreck. Oh well. I'm only watching, I suppose, but if I was their coach down there chatting to him, I'd be saying, what on earth are you playing at? Play the backhand, tap the ball over, lie 4 shots and put the pressure on. Oh, what's the Australian doing? Oh, he's helping him back the other way. He's giving another one away. Yeah, I don't really understand that, because there's no need to be anywhere near the pack of balls. There are 6 feet to draw the shot on that. And they're sort of talking to each other about the kick, but they shouldn't be anywhere near the kick that comes in that forehand. Anyway, 2 shots it is to Malaysia. Malaysian manager taking a few notes. Probably say, please don't do play the forehand when the backhand is open. The last time coming this direction we had some excellent bowling. That's a bit better. You'll be happy enough with that one. That would have scored the shot in at least half a dozen ends in this match. Oh, goodness me, that looks narrow. Surely not. I don't believe it. It's dropped inside the bowl and then dropped back on the wrong side of the bias. There's definitely a problem on that hand. That's probably why they're playing it so narrow. Percentages of success are better on the inside than they are on the outside. This is better. Oh, well played. That's good. Well done. Moved on to the forehand. Played a good ball. Fairly adjacent to the jack. That's good stuff. That's better to play it on the forehand. That's the open hand on the forehand. He's got his own ball to head in. Yeah, go for it. That's the idea. 2 or 3 of those more in the next end, and we'll definitely have a really tight set. Rex Johnson, team manager for the Australian team. 4 years ago, he was the manager of Malta, would you believe? We have the Malaysian, well, I think he's the team manager, but sometimes the Malaysians change over. And that's the problem between coaches and managers. Oh, that was pacey. He was after the 2 balls. Well, short-term memory wasn't quite locked in for that one. Dropped it short with a spare shot opportunity. Settles for a double. So, 7-6. A set that Malaysia has to win to force a tie-break, otherwise this man will cruise through into the final stages. The star of this section has definitely been Gary Kelly from Northern Ireland. Young man eased his way into the final stages very comfortably. In the other section, England are doing well through Sam Tulshard. New Zealand are going well. And Robert Wheel is still in with a good shot to make the top 3. Needs a little straightener off the ball. Got it too solid. Might well have pushed it in for another shot. Oh, this is more like it. This is definitely more like it. Just little flashes occasionally from both players. Good ball. Absolutely marvellous result, I have to say. It's a real beezer of a result out of that. It's a good ball because he was in the area. Fortunate enough to hit it absolutely solid into the 2 green balls. Another day, that would have winged. Oh well, that ball was actually further away than I thought. I was very fortunate in the end. But the way this rink is playing and the way the players are struggling, any drive within 6 or 8 inches of the target is pretty good. But that was a fortunate one. Now, can the Aussie save it with this? He's looking good. That's better. Well done. Never easy to play to an offset jack, but he'll be settling for 1 here, maybe even 2, depending on this ball. Looks under to me, both in terms of line and pace. Might have made 2nd. Yep, 1 shot it is. So, scores level as they were in the first set. 7-all in the second. In the first set it was 5-all after 7 ends. As you can just see the wear on the delivery point. The mat can move up and down, but that's the favoured position of a lot of players, to keep the mat back. There's no doubt about it, these rinks have taken a bit of a hammering. Safwan Saeed saying in his profile that his motivation in New Delhi is to win gold. Talk of pressure is nothing more than a distraction he could do without. Pretty reasonable comment actually, because he would have been one of the medal contenders. He's certainly a much better player than what we have seen in this match. And once again, the clap of the hands, and well, there's really no excuse for being that far away. Little charge up after this. Must think this one's close, and he is close. Now where's he going with the jack? Did he hold on to it? He has. Well, you move the jack and chances are it's going to cling on to your ball when you're playing on greens of this sort of pace. Here it comes. That's more like it. And he knew that was good, and that's more important. He actually knew that that was a good ball. He chased up after it. Safwan Saeed, another poor effort. Well, this should be a forehand shot. He can play the backhand because he's got a short ball in the way just to come around it, but much safer to play the forehand and try and drop on the ball. Yes, playing the forehand. Coming in on the blind side, much better. Can afford to play a little bit of pace to this to try and get the ball out. Try and make 3 or 4 out of this. Now, Leif, you've got a chance with it. You've definitely got a chance with this. Ball solid, you've got it. That's the way to play singles. Your opponent leaves you a chance, and you take it out by the root. Solid ball, bingo, out she goes. 3 or 4 shots. Once again, at a critical time. And it's the Malaysian's fault. He left himself wide open. And you can't afford to do it. There's a fist in the air that more or less secures it now. In fact, it does secure it. This match is effectively over. So 11-7 going to the last end. In the first set it was 9-5 going into the last set, and going to the last end, and Aussie won that 12-5 comfortably. He can afford to lose 4 shots on this. The trouble is that 75% of the Malaysians' balls in the last few ends have been significantly short of the jack. And I don't mean short by a foot or two, I mean significantly. 4, 5, 6 feet plus. And that at this level is just not going to crack it. signs that the pressure is off Leif Selby. I'm sure he expected this match to be unbelievably difficult and that his place in the top 3 might have been at risk, but that has not been the case. Number 2. It's amazing when the pressure's off just how easy it becomes. Signs at times of the Australian playing some very good stuff, but having said that, the Malaysian has been more than indifferent at times, which is just not like him. But I'm certainly prepared to give the guys a bit of leeway on this very, very difficult rink. There's no doubt about it. There's been a lot of runs on this from what I can see. So 2 close bowls and 1 very, very short. But he'll not worry about it. He knows he's cruising through. He would just want to finish off the match by winning it, and he will do, because this one's nowhere. He's won the match comfortably. He wanted to win the second set, and he has. The Australian took the mat away, happy and prepared to take a double in the last end. So an interesting match in some ways, but disappointing in terms of the quality of it. But at the same time, well done to Australia. Eased their way through to a comfortable win in the end. So players have shaken hands at the other end. Alan Thornhill, a little shake of hands just to make sure that everything's done properly. He's now marking the card. And there's the manager, shake hands of course as well. So etiquette and protocol. Leif Selby will be putting his balls away thinking, now I have to watch out to see what else is going on in this set, so I'm going to finish off. But he'll be a happy man. Stuttering start, but he's come through well in the end. So confirmation, 12-5, 13-7 for Australia over Malaysia as we approach late evening or late afternoon in Delhi at 10 minutes past 5. So a little story of the game under bright sunshine. Australia getting in early, Malaysia counter-punching with that one. That was a good ball. That was a really good ball to turn the jack at that stage in the match for a double. Got the 4 he needed eventually on that end. That really confirmed the first set once again. And when you see it like this, you see a lot of good balls coming through, but a few little weird ones, far, far too short, really. Safwan Saeed all day. Shake of the head. It's not easy. Big drive, 2 balls out, jack in the ditch. Bang, bang, there it goes. 3 shots, I'll take that, thank you very much. That was in the 4th end of the second set. That gave Australia 6 shots, 3 of a lead. And that was a very, very good drive. A little bit fortunate, he was in the area though, but lost a single in the end. Here we go, confirmation of Australia, drawing the shot, ball goes out, that's the end of it. And Australia win the match in a comfortable way, 2-0. Leif Selby just explaining what on earth's going on and chatting away to his manager. It was difficult, that's what he said to Rex, but the whole idea, don't worry about how difficult it is, all you have to do is win. But it's too late for Malaysia, their campaign in the singles has now been completed. So, come back for the semi-final playoffs tomorrow, folks, but it's going to be Australia through on this one against Safwan Saeed of Malaysia. He'll be making his way home.